Okay, so everything is in place, all neat and organized, and... Oh, hey! Clyde Monster here, and welcome again to Games in Gear, where I speak of games both old and new. This is gonna be intergalactic, for I will be talking about the Star Fox series. Star Fox has always been one of my major favorites out of all the Nintendo game series, next to Mario and Pokemon of course. I often wonder what the future would hold for Fox McCloud and the rest of the Star Fox team. What possibilities would occur involving that? It's a good question when you think about it. So let's take the skies with the Star Fox team! I've been hearing a lot about Star Fox growing up. In fact, it was around the N64 area that I first heard of the series. I was never really aware of it though. Incidentally, Super Smash Bros., which I talked about in my first episode, introduced me to the character Fox McCloud. I didn't know much about him at the time, but I could tell he was a pretty neat character. As years went by, I learned that Star Fox was originally from a Super Nintendo game, which was about Fox and his crew, Falco Lombardi, Flippy Toad, and Peppy Hare, saving the Lilat system from the evil Andros, a scientist that was exiled to the planet Venom. I never played the game before, but I saw various YouTube videos of the gameplay. It was pretty amazing. All those polygons were mind-blowing. The Super FX chip that I've heard about helps support the game. To be honest, I thought it would be a pretty amazing thing. I never played the Super Nintendo games before, and this was really neat. To be honest, as cool as it would have looked, I wasn't sure if I would be interested in playing it at the time. Now don't get me wrong, I love playing shooter games as much as the next guy, but people have different tastes in terms of video games. Originally, there was going to be a sequel for Star Fox for the Super Nintendo, but that was shelved. However, it was released in the form of the SNES Classic in 2017. However, somewhere along the line, I learned to expand my horizons a bit. For a while, I've been interested in Pokemon or Mario for a long time, but as I got more in the Star Fox series, I was really in for a surprise. A few years later, when I was visiting my older brother who was living in a different state at the time, I had a chance to try out Star Fox 64 that he had on his Wii. It was such an amazing thing when I played it for the first time. You had the Star Fox team traveling through different 3D areas that went beyond the polygons from the Super Nintendo games. There were also some voice dialogue, and the 3D models were pretty unique. I don't think I'll ever forget that famous catchphrase, "Do a barrel roll!" And sometime later I managed to get a copy of Star Fox 64 3D for my 3DS. And although the gameplay was essentially the same, it was still a cool experience. Eventually I would get the original Star Fox 64 on my Wii U. I mean, playing the Star Fox games was such a great experience for me. Actually, around 2015, there was an E3 presentation in which the Nintendo executives were portrayed as puppets, as well as the Star Fox team minus Slippy. And on the topic of puppets, the puppets used for the E3 2015 presentation were created by the Jim Henson Company, which was famous for the creation of the Muppets. On a related note, Shigeru Miyamoto got the idea for Star Fox from the 1960s puppet series Thunderbirds, which would also explain the cover art for the SNES Star Fox game. Pretty neat, huh? Anyway, as I was watching the presentation, one of the games that was included was Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. At the time I thought that would be pretty cool to play, also considering it would have been the first Star Fox game that wasn't a remake since Star Fox Command, which I also have for my Wii U. When I got it in April, I started playing it for the first time, and the only gripe I had with the game was the motion controls, which can be pretty tricky at times. But overall, I really liked what Nintendo was trying to do as far as the Star Fox series goes, and I had a lot of fun playing the game. And as long as I'm being honest, there was another reason why I got into Star Fox. Now before I get into this, I don't want you to get the wrong idea, okay? What I'm about to talk about is based on my own personal opinion. Around the time before I even got Star Fox Zero, I found a couple of Star Fox GameCube games that were pretty interesting on YouTube. Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault. While it featured characters from the N64 days, there was one character that was pretty new, and that character was none other than Crystal. Star Fox Adventures was originally going to be an N64 game called Dinosaur Planet, which featured an early version of Crystal. It seems that Crystal had a great fan base going for it in terms of YouTube videos and fan art as well. When I first saw her, I found her to be a great character, a character who was willing to fight for what she believed in, even fighting against General Scales in Adventures. It was such an amazing sight when Fox and Crystal were together by the end, setting the stage for Assault. Alesia Glidewell, who voiced Crystal in Star Fox Assault, was also known for being the face model for Chell in the game Portal. She also served as executive producer for the 2016 documentary A Trip to Unicorn Island featuring Lily Singh. My only wish was that they could give Crystal a better character development. In Adventures in Assault, she was very nice and was willing to give a helping hand. However, when Command came to play, they had her portrayed as a cold fighter due to the fact that Fox let her go out of fear that she would be killed. However, she got the wrong idea and held a grudge against him, even going as far as to join Star Wolf. The endings for the game may vary. Also around that time, I found a neat website called Crystal Archive, which had a lot of Crystal related stuff such as audio and video clips, official artwork, and even some fan art dedicated to her and the Star Fox series. Truth be told, Crystal is one of my favorite Star Fox characters out there, not just because she's pretty, it's mostly because she's one of the many characters who isn't afraid to join the fight, even when the odds are against her. If there's ever going to be any future Star Fox game, I only hope that Crystal can have better character development, and perhaps Nintendo could give her a bit of a backstory of her past. In my opinion, I think what makes a great character is how well developed they are. Ever since Star Fox Zero, I often wondered where the franchise would go. I mean, I've been hearing talks about how it hasn't been doing so well and that the style is mostly focused on the N64 area. Which is understandable considering that Star Fox 64 was a popular game at the time of its release. While I would read countless fanfics or watch fan-made videos, I often feel as if there's something missing. Of course, when I heard about how Star Fox made its way in the Nintendo Switch version of Starlink, I was pretty surprised. I mean, I'm very glad something came out of this after the Wii U era. I mean, if I had an opportunity to create my own Star Fox game, it would be about the Star Fox team finally gets a new threat. With Crystal at Fox's side, they would prevail. I mean, I could also use that as an opportunity to give other characters some development, such as Cat Monroe or Bill Gray. Maybe have a little backstory of Andros before the events of the Lilat War. In a sense, possibilities are endless in the world of the Lilat system. The only question in my mind is, will the series be able to continue? Who knows for sure, but one way or the other, the answer will become very clear. Overall, I really enjoy the Star Fox games, and I really believe that they have a good potential to reach new heights if they ever have a new story to tell or new enemies to battle. Heck, I would want for Nintendo to someday make a TV series out of this, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I guess when it gets right down to it, there's no telling where the Star Fox series may head. But I will say this, Star Fox can really hold its own when it comes to having a decent fan base. Crystal Archive is a great example. There's updates every now and then, and plus a whole lot more, so be sure to check that out if you get the chance. For my final statement for this episode, all I can say is, I wish for the best for Star Fox, and I wish to see how far the series can improve. I will always enjoy the adventures of Fox McCloud and his team as they fight to bring peace to the Lilat system. May the Force be with you. Oh, wait. That's a different space story. Sorry about that. But in all seriousness, it's really great no matter what anyone has to say. Thank you, Nintendo, for creating a game series that's out of this world. Those of you who are fans, may the Star Fox team continue to stay strong, and let's hope for the best. Well, that's it for this episode. Now it's time for Game Wordplay. And this week's Game Wordplay is Slip Out, a term used when motion controls are pretty hard to use. Almost slippery. Almost as if it was created by a certain character who has been very famous for being hated for a very long time. But I can't really think of that character on the top of my head at the moment.
Hold it!
Excuse me, can I help you with something?
Where did Fox go?
I think it might have gone that way, in the direction that I'm pointing. Something about battling Wolf or something.
There he is!
Well, I hope the journey through the Lilat system has been a good experience. Next time I should stock up on supplies before going. Hey, watch it! I just had that renovated! Well, anyway, this is Clyde Monster saying, see you next time on Games in Gear!
Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. You can take me to Moisty Mire, but not Loot Lake. I really love to chug jug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers. Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. You can take me to Moisty Mire, but not Loot Lake. I really love to chug jug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers.
I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of Games in Gear. If so, then click the like button. And to see more, click that subscribe button. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Now we'll continue to get my video game on.